Right, greetings everybody. It is news day here on JP, so we are going to take a look at the JP news. Before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about what seems to be happening on global. Now, I've gotten a few posts and messages about this, but I haven't had the time as of yet to go investigate it myself, and personally I would kind of like to investigate just what's been going on, but it seems that there's a bit of a difference going on with Falset's release, which is interesting. Now, I'm looking at the the global news, and I see the featured summons page where basically we have the Falset release featured summon with a 25% guarantee on the summon bonus if you're the gauge becomes full, and I also see a one-time only level 120 Falset guaranteed 10-time summon, which I'm a little bit curious on whether or not there is any real specific reason. So I'm just going to indulge in that really quickly without having done the due diligence. I'm going to try and do that hopefully tomorrow and do an update video. My early impressions, though, for people who are curious, is not to panic yet. Because I honestly think that Falset underwhelmed on JP, and given the clairvoyance that a lot of globalers like to demonstrate, I feel like the devs maybe kind of panicked and essentially put her as a purchaser or, nothing kind of thing. Like, they really are pushing people into that higher bracket because it is a stable income for the game. So that's generally pretty good. Now, whether or not this is overall, if you can just get her for 2K paid, that would be a steal compared to what JP had to pay for her. But even then, I just think that from a JP side, even though she's a popular character and there was initially that bump, I feel like she has kind of disappeared off, and with more coming out, it's also just been not particularly that great for her. So if I was to guess what might happen with her and what might happen with O, is that you will probably see these kind of push to just purchase kind of things, because they are less confident in this being actually worth what they want to do. And I actually don't think that's that terrible of a thing. They are a permanent addition to the pools, and they'll eventually be on selectable banners. So unless you're that hard up to get her right away, it's not great. It's never great to take away options from the consumer, but that seems to be modern business. So yeah, but I would expect that this won't stay around forever. I don't imagine that this kind of behavior will continue for collaborations or stronger characters. So this might be what they are considering a bit of a break for you, even if it is a little misguided and making some people angry. But again, I haven't really taken too much time to look into it, so I'm not going to comment too much more than I already have. All right, now on to JP news. So JP news is starting off with the announcement of the FF9 event part 2. Previously, it was the Tetramaster cards accessory that was brought into the game, and this time it is the Prima Vista model. I do believe that's correct. It's been a little while since I played the initial part of FF9, but I'm pretty sure I know that. It's the theater ship that you ride on at the beginning of the game. So anyway, that is the piece of equipment that we will be getting, and I'll come back and talk about this in a little bit because there are a listed amount of upgrades here. I do want to talk about them, but I want to get on to some more news. Yeah, I'm still using those jokes. So the new vision card. So this is our new vision card, and I would assume that this is a off reference to White Day here in Japan. That whole romance theme, but since we're not getting those specific kind of units anymore, well, this is just kind of, I don't know, I guess everyone's thirsty for this dude, right? So talking about this vision card is for a wide series of job ranges, what I would consider to be the less popular ones. It doesn't really matter because it's undoubtedly going to have a home as a permanent addition to the EC pool. So the main jobs axe, spear, bow, katana, and glove, because as a general rule of modern Wotv, every single vision card has to support the katana class, or, you know, it will be jettisoned into space. So talking about this VC is a job VC, obviously, of course, a holo job VC. And as such, it's just a massive win for the spear column, because it is a permanent speed vision card. And that, I mean, speed vision cards are always the #1 priority. So this thing is just fantastic. It's fantastic to get down the line. It's fantastic to get now. I mean, it also supports the katana thing. It supports bows, and it supports gloves. So it has a lot of usability with a lot of more recent characters, as we've seen those type of jobs and those type of characters that are running these jobs are fairly damn prevalent. So yeah, speed is the big one for the party, and that'll be an 18% speed increase. And increase magical damage reduction the wider the attack range. At maxing out this VC, you'll get max HP up. And for quest only, critical rate increase. And no, I don't care that this is a critical, a quest-based VC up. This is just going to be really, really good. And this is something that's pretty nice to have just in the pool, as I've said before. Granted effect is increased attack power and increased resistance to AoE attacks, so obviously benefiting more, but could benefit a wide range of characters besides just more. As for the Vision Card Mastery, Earth Element Killer and increase in damage limit up, which, you know, for quests could actually be quite nice as an extra source of it. So this VC gets a big thumbs up for me. It's a nice VC, and more gets even more powerful. Only way it could have been better is if she got a Esper too, but that would have been pretty greedy at this point in time. All right, moving on. We will talk about upgrades. So Sadali, Glassy, and I believe those are the older versions of them, as well as Rizzle and the Wind Dagger, another story character, as well as Rabbies will all be getting their upgrades. And the Quad Mist card, or the Quad Tetramaster cards, will also be getting their upgrade with the most recent event. No idea whether any of this will be worth the time of you even listening to it, but there you go, it's news. Also, the story will be continuing on JP. I know that some people have been a little vocal about wanting more story updates. Well, part 3 came recently to JP, and we're already getting part 1 of chapter 13. Hopefully, however, it's not going to be too much longer to conclude this part of the story and move on to something different. Next up, we have a Grando Arena coming back. And this time, I don't remember. Yes, here we go. So we do have this little piece of information. Increased accuracy for 90, 80, and 70 cost units. Decrease all attribute resistance and physical damage reduction and magical reduction for 100 cost units. So in a previous one where we had SSR units only, and it was quite popular, this time around looks also kind of fun, where 80, 90, 80, and 70 costs are getting a boost, and 100 cost units are getting knocked down a peg. I mean, decreasing all attribute resistance, all physical damage reduction, and magical damage reduction, it's a huge penalty for running 100 cost units. So I expect to see Agrius in a lot of stuff. I expect to see probably just a bunch. I have Ice, if I was to guess, since I think that's one of the better elements for just dishing out damage with slightly lower cost units right now. But that would be my estimate. Stay tuned for more details on that later. All right, now circling back around, end off on FF9, let's talk about some of the upgrades, because this is going to be the final chance for any upgrades to really push any of the FF9 characters. After this update is out and I see the final numbers, I'm going to make my wrap-up video talking about which of the FF9 characters are worth a damn. But remember, we do have upgrades on the Tetra Card Master cards as well. Not that I expect to make them that much of a difference, but there it is. So first off, the Prima Vista Theater Boat will have decrease target's critical damage resistance before attacking, and increase critical hit rate. So basically it's a critical enabler for all of the characters that we're about to talk about. Zidane will also get, when a critical hit occurs, reduce the target's single attack resistance for 2 turns, also reduces physical damage taken when HP is above 50%, and reduces magical damage taken when HP is above 50%. This might be a little bit more of what we were essentially missing from this character earlier on. I was pretty convinced that there was something really crucial missing from his kit, and depending on the damage reduction, maybe Zidane could be considered once again for something. But I'm not 100% convinced on that, so stay tuned. Dagger will get increased healing power and increased magic damage. Both those things, quite nice things for her. I still expect her to be budget overall because she hasn't never pushed beyond that, but put a pin in it. As for Vivi, increase weakness resistance rate and increase magical power. This could help him. Stun is there. Stun is quite effective. I've been using Vivi in Arena this week and it's been going quite well for me. Not amazing, mind you. So an extra DPS boost, if it's enough to invalidate other equipment, could just push Vivi to being more relevant. And as for Kuja, silence resistance, don't move resistance, and increase magic attack killer. Which is all very, very nice. Now, here's the thing. Kuja is already quite good, but has suffered for the release of more quite hard. And I don't see this changing that. Kuja is good into a ton of different matchups, but really bad into Spear and more. And this just doesn't feel like it's going to change that, because silence isn't really a problem. Don't move isn't exactly a problem for that team. And magic attack, magic killer, human killer on this, sure, it's great. It's nice to have, but I don't think it'll overcome the extra defense that those teams have right now. But as always, we'll see. Take a look out for it as it happens, and report back to you later. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and maybe see you on stream this weekend. Later.